All right. Hi everyone. So that's probably the third time recording this. Yeah, I had some technical difficulties, but all good things come in threes. So I hope you're doing well. You are staying inside. That's probably the most important thing right now, to stay healthy and stay safe. Yeah, but also it's spring break, so maybe do something fun, watch some Netflix and stuff like that. But don't forget there's homework 3 and your class project. So for that, also for me to just practice recording lectures before it gets serious next week, I wanted to just give you a very brief lecture on how to run Jupyter notebooks on a cloud GPU, so in a free cloud GPU. So there are many ways you can run your code for homeworks. It's usually sufficient just to use your laptop. For the project, depends on what you're planning to do. We have some GPUs on the campus, but they're a little bit tricky to use. So today I just want to show you maybe the easiest way for using a GPU that is using Google Colab. So that is service by Google that offers you one free GPU at a time. So what I'm going to do now, if everything works as it should, I will swap my screen and then I will go through some slides, show you or summarize the individual steps that you need to get going, and then I will show it to you in a live session in my own web browser, how I would do this. So let's get started here. Okay, let's get started then. So in this lecture, like I mentioned, I will show you how to use Google Collaboratory. So the slides that I'm going to show you first, I just uploaded them to GitHub. So this is our usual class GitHub repository where I upload all the lecture material. Since this is more like a computing related lecture, I put it under 6, so it's like a little lecture. I called it 6.5 Cloud Computing Resources. So the slides, I just uploaded them here if you want to look at them later, like usual. So to start with the slides here, okay, let me zoom in here. Oops, there we go. Okay, so Google Colab or Collaboratory, this is like a service for running Jupyter notebooks on the cloud using a free GPU. So it is called Google Collaboratory, but no one really says Google Collaboratory because it's like especially for me, a tongue twister. It's just usually people refer to it as just Google Colab. So Google Colab, if you say Google Colab, people will know exactly what you mean. So what is Google Colab? So this is just a service offered by Google that lets you run regular Jupyter notebooks in the cloud. So this will be the original Jupyter notebook file format, like the IPYNB files that you already used for everything, for code examples, homeworks, and so forth. Because it's kind of easy, allows us to include figures and also notes and LaTeX equations. So Google has its own little flavor of this. So it looks a little bit different from what you've already seen in Jupyter Lab or Jupyter Notebook. So the visuals, they look a little bit different. So looks maybe a little bit fancier and so forth, but it's really the same thing. Has some different features, but the files are the same. So if you have a Jupyter Notebook file on your desktop, you can upload it there and run it there. And also you can download the notebook from Google Colab and run it on your local Jupyter Notebook app. So how this works is basically for each notebook that you use in Google Colab, they will spin up a computing instance, a Linux-based computing instance, your own little computing instance that only you are working on at that moment. What that means though is that you will be very limited in resources because Google has millions of users, and if they would have a big fancy computer for every user, that wouldn't be feasible. So these are very small virtual instances on a certain computer. It's still nice though because it allows us to easily use that service and also have this free GPU. The only downside is of course that it's not unlimited. So usually what happens is after 12 hours max, it will time out. It does, so they won't delete your notebook. So the notebook will still be there after the 12 hours. However, your computation will stop. You have to restart it then. So this is important to keep in mind if you are running bigger experiments. That means you have to design your experiments in a way that you don't lose anything after the 12-hour threshold. So maybe you want to make checkpoints of your models when you train them, maybe a checkpoint every hour or so that you can then reload. So if you, for example, restart the notebook, you can reload from a checkpoint and continue the computation if you want to run something that is longer than 12 hours. Yeah, but it's still a useful resource, especially for quick testing and experimenting. It allows you also to collaborate easily. I think this is also why it's called Google Colab, because they have some features similar to Google Docs that allow you to take notes with other colleagues when you're working on that and add comments, for example. Yeah, so the big question now is, how can I use Google Colab? How can I get started? So it's basically just you need a Google account, which I think you already have. If you don't have your private Google account, you can just use your wisc.edu email address, because UW-Madison has some special version of Google Cloud, so that if you use your edu address, you can log in with this one. So yeah, then you just head to this website, and that's all you need. Okay, there's one more thing that you need. You have to open your notebook in Google Colab. So there are multiple options. You can just open an existing notebook from Google Drive. You can just see I'm not actually using that often, so that is actually 2018, 2019. Anyway, so it's still useful though. So I have also two Google accounts. This, I think, is my other one. In any case, there are three ways you can open the notebook. So one is directly from your Google Drive. One is by putting in a link directly from GitHub, and one is uploading it from your computer. I mean, you will probably use a mix of these. So if you worked on some project locally, you want to run it on a GPU now on Google Colab, you probably just use this upload button. Then also, for example, when you work on something, you have your notebooks on Google Colab, and in the meantime, maybe if you want to reopen it, you will probably go to this tab and then select an existing notebook that you have worked on before. Yeah, this is basically how you open it. And I will want to mention, I will walk through this after we went through the lecture slides here, step by step as well, so you can see a live version of that. I just, so that you have an overview and that nothing goes wrong, I just want to show you the slides step by step, so that they also have, that you have a record, basically, that you know which step comes after the other step. So the whole reason why we actually use Google Colab is that for you, for example, if you use a laptop, you probably don't have a GPU in your laptop. This offers you a nice way to use a GPU. And also, like I said in class, even if you have a laptop in a GPU in your laptop, it's maybe not the most powerful GPU, and also a laptop is not really meant to run computations for a long time period. I mean, there are some special laptops that are designed for that, but it's usually not the case. So you want to also be a little bit careful with your laptop. You don't want to overheat it, so you don't want to run very extreme long computations on it. So even though you may have a laptop that has a GPU, you probably don't want to run deep learning code on it for like 10 hours and make it super hot and then risk that it breaks and things like that. So the whole reason why we use that, like I said, is that it gives us access to a free GPU. So in order to use this free GPU, there are just two little tweaks, or one little tweak required to the notebook. You click on here on runtime, then you click on change runtime, and by default the notebook runs on a CPU. So what you then do is you just select GPU here, and then you're good to go. So that's all you need. Select the GPU, and then the notebook will run on the GPU. What's nice is also that there's a Torch installed now. I mean, Google, they have their own framework, a TensorFlow, like you know. But so in the beginning, you had to install Torch or PyTorch in order to use it there, but now it also comes pre-installed. So actually you can just import PyTorch as usual, and it's good to go. It's also the most one of the most recent versions. This is actually quite nice, so we don't have to install it ourselves. Saves some time. And also, though, you may need to use certain packages that are not installed there yet. So this is also not a problem. I think I've showed you that before. If you want to install a package, you can either use the command line or you can do it directly in the Jupyter notebook. Similar here, you can just use this exclamation mark symbol, and then if you use that symbol, everything in the cell is executed like a Unix shell command. So by executing this, I will just install this watermark package. It's just an example for an arbitrary package. Just checking what I wrote here is my notes on the slide. So that is just what I said. Basically, you can use that to install additional packages. Okay, so now, just to give you a hands-on example of how that works, I thought maybe uploading the homework there might be an intuitive or useful thing to do instead of just uploading some arbitrary code. But of course, this is not just for your homework. Everything what I'm showing you applies to any notebook you have and also your class project. So like I said before, you can actually use this GitHub tab, and then you can directly provide the GitHub address here, and then it will open the notebook. Or, like I said, you can just upload the notebook from your local directory if you already have it on your computer. Okay, so let's assume I open this notebook from GitHub directly, the homework. One thing I have to do, I always recommend saving frequently. So one thing that will show up if you have not saved the notebook yet is that it will ask you to save a copy in your Google Drive folder. So you just do that, and then you have a copy of your notebook on your Google Drive. So that was the notebook that we just fetched from GitHub. Now, let's assume I ran a bunch of code in the notebook. At some point, I will hit a cell where I get this error here. So that basically tells us, okay, there is some issue with a file here. Assume I downloaded so you've probably already seen the homework, there were instructions for downloading files and unzipping it. So assume I unzipped this file. It already exists, still it will show me something like no such file or directory. So this is a common issue in Google Colab that we want usually to run our code on some data set, and how do we get the data set onto Google Colab? Because of course we just uploaded a notebook, but we didn't upload the data set. So this is unfortunately a little bit trickier, I would say. The one aspect that may be a little bit annoying, but it's actually easier to solve than you think. So how we get our data onto Google Colab? So there's one button first, or one option first that says under File, Locate in Drive. So this means find the notebook, so the notebook I'm having open here, in my Google Drive folder. So when I do that, it will show me exactly where my notebook is. So this is actually, so the notebook that I just showed you would be this one. However, what I recommend is you just create a new folder where you put all the homework code in. So what I wanted to tell you is there is on your Google Drive a main folder just called My Drive, and under this main folder by default there should be a folder called Google Colab, Colab Notebooks, and this Colab Notebooks folder usually contains all of your notebooks. I mean, you can put them anywhere you like, but this is like the default location. I just recommend using that one so it doesn't get too confusing. So in this Google Colab Notebooks folder, I recommend making a new folder for each project. So here, let's assume I made the new folder for homework 3. And once we've done that, so what I recommend then doing here in this case is just uploading your notebook files. I will show you live how I would do that in a few moments. So assume I already uploaded the notebook files here. So I have the homework 3 data preparation file, the homework 3 main file, and also the data files here. There are more than that, there are multiple data files. Let's assume I have already uploaded them. I mean, you can just open them conveniently using a right click, open with context, and then Google Collaboratory. So that is also then how you open them just from your Google Drive. So, but back to so you can see here, it's a little bit hard to see because it's hidden by the menu, but the data files are actually there. However, I still got the error that I showed you a few slides ago. So if I go back, so I still get this error. And the reason is that the notebook, we open it from Google Drive. However, it is still in its own little instance. So I told you when you open a Google Notebook, it will spin up a computing instance, and this is not yet connected to our Google Drive. It sounds weird, but just think of it. We have data here, and then when we open it, it goes to some other computer. I'm not sure how to draw a computer nowadays because it's just a virtual rack, let's say a server rack here. So, okay. Modern computers don't have monitors anymore. You just, computing workstations, you just log in via SSH. Anyways, so let's assume it opens here on a virtual space on this computing rack. But then it can't really, oops, sorry, I went, okay. So, but it can't really access the Google Drive by default. So this is, you would think it should be able to access everything that is still sitting on my Google Drive. However, it's a little bit isolated now. So you can think of it basically as we launch it and then we break the connection to our Google Drive. So what we have to do explicitly is we have to mount Google Drive. So there's one additional step that we do. We have to mount our Google Drive on this virtual instance. This is, I would say, maybe a little bit annoying. It's necessary, but I have to admit it is annoying. Okay, but it's simpler than you might think. So what you have to do is, so I have an example here. So you import this, okay, sorry. So we import this drive package from, or it's actually a sub-package from the Google Colab package. So this is just something you have to remember doing. I mean, if you have these slides, you can just refer to the slides. You don't have to memorize this. So there's this drive package, and there is might be even, I actually don't know what it is. It could be a class, but then you would usually spell it with an uppercase letter. Anyways, so there's this mount method that you can use to mount your Google Drive. So again, this is something you just have to remember. This is just the main location where your Google Drive sits with relation to the virtual instance. If you execute this code block, so this is just something you can copy from the slides, for example. You don't have to memorize this. If you execute this, what happens is you will get this prompt that asks you to go to this website here, and then it asks you to enter an authorization code. So on this website here, there will be an authorization code that you copy and you just put it here. And once you've done that, for example, if this is a second step, so I've done this here, then you should see, so it will take a few seconds, you should see something like mounted at content drive. So it will take a few seconds, but then your Google Drive will be mounted. And once you mounted that, everything should work fine. So here, one thing I have to do though is I have to replace the links, the relative links I had in the homework with the absolute links on Google Drive now. So this link is new, this link is new, this is new, and this is new. And so again, so this is the base path, the content drive that we just mounted. And then, like I showed you before, where our notebook is located is this HW03 folder within My Drive and Google Colab Notebooks. So this is actually the folder, if I go back. Oops, sorry, too much. Where was it? Here. So this is actually the folder I was showing you here. So this is My Drive, Colab Notebooks, and then HW03. So this is just the link that I put in here. So this is this part. Okay, so this is just, a concept explained in slides. I mean, slides are not really ideal for explaining concepts like that are more interactive. So let me also do this live, or at least trying to do that live, because doing something live is never as smooth as you would think. All right, so let's just start by going to Google Colab. So I just type Google Colab in to Google or any other search engine that you might like. So there should be some option Google Colab, which I just clicked. Yeah, so there are options, like I said, to create a new notebook. Here, what we want to do, let's say we want to upload our notebooks. So what I would do is, for example, I would upload an existing notebook, like IPython notebook file here, IPYNB. However, since we have multiple files, multiple homework files, it may be a little bit annoying to upload each file individually. So what's maybe easier is to just go to Google Drive. All right. Go to Google Drive. Okay. So let me use my whisk.edu account. All right, so I told you there is a folder called My Drive Colab Notebooks. So what I'm going to do now is I will upload homework 3. So homework 3, this is all the files that are on GitHub. So I will just drag and drop them. All right, I think it's a little bit slow here. Okay, this is uploading. Also, what we will need, this is described in the homework, are the data files. Let's just assume I downloaded them to my computer, and I will just also upload them here. So these are the data files. In the meantime, I can already open this notebook. Oops, it's jumping around. Open with Google Collaboratory. So that's a data preparation notebook. So what we have here is the instructions. So I assume we already downloaded the data set. I mean, there are other ways you can download it directly. There's a tool, a command you can type wget and then click on the link and so forth. But we just assume you have the data on your computer for now. So you do the unzipping. And for this one, like I told you before, we need to mount Google Drive, because right now the data sits here next to our notebook. So here are our data files, but we don't have really access to it yet unless we mount our Google Drive. So again, mounting the Google Drive, that was these few steps here. From Google Colab import drive, and then drive mount content drive. Okay, where's my folder? So let's do this in a new cell here. From google.colab import drive, and then drive mount content drive. Okay, so it will ask me to go to a new web page now here. So I click here, use the, okay, well, yep, that I think I read. So you should read this carefully, of course, but I think I read this already, so at some point, so I just trust it for now. Okay, so copy this and enter it here. Then, no, I don't want to save this. So it will take a few seconds. All right. So it's mounted now. And like I said, we now need to adjust the link. So right now how this code works, it will look for, so the code I've written here will look for ubyte.gz files in the current directory. So this is just the current directory. However, we need to provide the absolute link, which is content.drive, and then what was it, my drive, I think, and then Colab notebooks homework 3. I think this should be it. We will see in a moment. Okay, executing, this is not correct. Okay, let me double check what's going on here. Did I forget anything? notebooks. What did I write? This is correct. Okay. Why does it not work? So what is wrong here? Content drive. Okay, first issue here. This is a little bit weird. Colab notebooks, my drive. What is the error here? Maybe I need. I don't think so, but. All right, so this is apparent. See, that is why I don't like live lectures. I mean, live demonstrations with tools that are not my own. Are we missing a file here? No, not really. Can't explain this. Okay. Okay. Can't see a typo here, this is super awkward. Okay. My monitor is a little bit small, but I don't think my drive. Okay. Oh, okay, there we go. Yep, that happens. So I was so focused on this one. Let's make a new so I completely overlooked this part. So what will basically happen is it will just use Z, which is just the file inside the folder instead of the whole file. So we need to create the complete absolute path. So what we do is we just put this one here. Z. And then we replace this one with path, and then also this one with path. So that should work. There we go. Okay. Yep, that should have worked. So we unzipped the gzip files, and then we are going to load them. So we're executing this part. Again, I need the main folder, so I copy this part here, because otherwise it will look next to the notebook, but again this does not work on Google Drive for some reason, so we provide the link explicitly, so that works. I can visualize stuff here if we want to, and this is it, basically creating the PNG files. So we may want to use this as path join. So let us make a new variable so we don't have to retype this all the time. Just double check. Everything looks okay. So, okay, all right. So, what happens? What's going on here? If not, was okay. There is a missing column. Okay, this will generate all the PNG files. There are a lot, so I'm not sure. I have actually not run this on Google Colab before, so it's also my first time for the homework at least. So let's see. Shouldn't take too long. So what I was just doing is I was adjusting all the file paths. You don't have to do this locally, but yeah, you have to do that for Google Colab, which is a little bit annoying. So maybe one little trick, something you could do is when you have a code notebook and you assume everything is relative to this notebook, to the directory, you can maybe make a variable, call it, let's say, main directory or something like that. And if you work on your local notebook, you can just put a dot here. And then if you change to Google Collaborative Notebook, excuse me, so you can just add this complete path, and everywhere where you had the dot before, you replace everything just with main directory, and you just use either this one or this one, so you don't have to change everything every time in the notebook. So I'm not sure why it's taking so long. Let's check what it is doing here. So is it not really creating anything here? So weird. Oh, okay, it's creating the PNG files here. So can we see how many? No, it does not show it. Okay. Okay, some of them are being generated. I don't know how long that will take, to be honest. It was pretty quick on my computer, like a few seconds. Okay, so maybe I don't have to really run this. Will take maybe a while. So you should, of course, work through the rest of the homework notebook. I mean, this is again something that you can do on your local laptop. It will take a few minutes only, and you don't need a GPU for that. It's just like an example. And then when you go to the other notebook file, this one, you unfortunately have to again go through the mounting exercise, which is a little bit annoying. But this is the main notebook that is basically running your code. So here, when you want to, if you want to take advantage of a GPU, you would go to Runtime, change Runtime Type, and select the GPU here. Again, this is a very small homework. So in this homework, you've probably already seen that. You are just experimenting with a multi-layer perceptron. So here, this network is so small and simple, and the dataset is so small and simple, there's not really any much to gain from using a GPU over a CPU. You will maybe see a very small difference, but it won't be so substantial, and it's maybe not worth using Google Colab for this. However, I just want to show you the general option that it exists, so you can use that for your projects and maybe for later homeworks. So after spring break, we will talk more about different optimization algorithms, and then we will get to a new architecture, convolutional neural networks. So yeah, I'm not sure how long that will take, so I don't want to, so you can go back to Netflix. I don't want to hold you up too long because this is not super exciting here anymore. So yeah, this is just a brief overview. I will upload the video to YouTube, and I will share it on Piazza. So in Piazza we can have the discussion then. So that's our normal forum where we discuss things. So okay, then let me stop this here.